Get in here. Thank you. Get in here. Dog got loose.
But you say he's just a friend. I got a song in my head now. A little Biz Marquee.
And welcome in to the latest edition of the Rob Comrade and Kale podcast. My name is Rob Sanders. I'm not a very happy person this evening, but I'm going to pick it up and just keep moving. Man, my Braves disappointed the shit out of me this evening. I mean, it was terrible. Anyway, I have a couple of co-hosts. We will start with the man that is Vladimir Putin's water boy. He is the comrade, Mike Dobreski. Mike, good evening, sir.
Good evening, good evening. I would feel bad for your Braves, but to me, your Braves fans were talking trash last night to me, whether my Red Sox, and now I kind of sit back and laugh. You messed with karma, picked up my Red Sox. I don't hate the Braves. I pull for the Braves. But
Hold on. I didn't say shit to you.
I'm just saying a few in a little group got a little chesty last night. It's like, how about those Red Sox? Like, I didn't provoke anybody. And you come after me, it's what happens. You come after, it's what happens. So a little less.
Get the fuck out of here with all that shit. I didn't say shit to you.
I know, but
I don't want to hear that shit.
People were talking trash last night for no reason.
Well,
I don't talk trash with the Braves.
Look, if you don't like the Braves, man, I tell you what, man, Donald Trump's building a wall. We'll just put your ass on the other side of it.
I don't
saying.
I don't openly poll. I don't like root for him, but I kind of like to see him do well. I'm not anti-Braves, but now, I have to admit, after last night, some of the words that were exchanged, I kind of hope you get your ass kicked.
I didn't say a shit.
I'm not saying, but I'm just saying.
Let's welcome in our buddy from the upstate who is a Braves fan, and if he sees the comrade in the street and the comrade runs his mouth, he might spine buster his ass. He is Kale Hall. Kale, what's up, brother?
What's up, brother? Mike.
Mike, yeah. He keeps running his mouth about the Braves. I want you to spine buster his ass straight to hell.
Yeah, I tried to watch him a little bit today. I mean, but fucking once
fucking over in the first inning.
I turned it on and they were shit show.
Fuck out of here.
Now I'm watching one of the two teams from the state of South Carolina who has a College World Series title winning at football. Over on ESPN.
You're talking about the Coastal Carolina game. Yeah, there's some Louisiana folks that are not fucking happy about that.
That's why Louisiana.
They're
just looking bad across the board this week.
Well, anyway, we have a lot to cover this evening. Appreciate the folks checking us out on the show. We've got James Lill saying South Carolina has a chance this weekend. There you go.
He wants us to break down Temple and South Florida. He wants us to break that down. I'm not sure we're breaking down Temple in South Florida. That game was not bad enough to be a Kale Hall special. We got a game. You got to be, it's not that isn't the Kale Hall special.
Hey, virtual Kale joins us this evening. What do you think of that there game, Kale? Yeah, we're not breaking that shit down. Hilarious. We have a couple of sponsors for the show. First of all, the Callaway's Pick'em Challenge, sponsored by Callaway's Bar and Grill out in West Columbia, Highway 1 diagonal from the Walmart. And they are the best place in West Columbia to go and get yourself some wings, get yourself some beer, all kinds of good stuff at Callaway's. Callaway's Bar and Grill.com. They've been supporting us for a while now, and we appreciate Mike and Billy and those guys. Also, we have Dennis Wilson from DNC Trucking and Transport, who I haven't talked to Dennis. I don't know if he's going to renew for next year or not. We'll find out.
Well,
he may or may not.
I told you he wants to involve Kale in it. I think the next contract. So
well, that's fine. But the reality is that we have to talk about that.
Yeah, I know.
Because,
I told him that I go, it's fine by me, but you got to talk to the big man. You know, I'm not going to tell the big man.
Kale's already said he would agree to do it, right? Kale, you're all on board, right?
We got to get together.
Oh, yeah.
Sign some papers. You know, sign the deals, sign the contracts.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, actually,
can he afford the buyout for next year though? Is my thing.
I don't know.
He's got Country Ham to buy.
And here's the thing too: that if you agreed to read it, Kale, you also will get pictures of Dennis Wilson in the nude sent to your house. It's part of the deal too. And so maybe
he did not send you pictures in the nude, sir. It was pictures of his ass, but it was not. He was not nude. That was art. He sent you fine freaking art, and you want to be a dickhead about it. What is wrong with you?
We're kind of semantics now, but anyway, I'm just saying, Cal, it's kind of part of the deal. You could write that out of the contract though and say no nude pictures.
Well, that might be a deal breaker, and it's since I'm the one that negotiates this contract. I mean, with COVID-19 taking a hit on all businesses here, Dennis may want to go the extra mile and send you some fine art like he sent the comrade. So, I mean, I'm just saying that may have to happen. I don't know for sure, but I tell you what I can look forward to, though, is that we're planning our live show this year. It's going to be the last regular season weekend of the year. South Carolina playing Kentucky, Clemson on the road at Virginia Tech. We're going to have that at Callaway's, and we're going to have a Cale Hall, Dennis Wilson picture. The two of them standing together, holding hands, all that good stuff. What you got there, Ken?
Highlight the last comment there from James Lill that starts with the word Cale. I'm trying to figure that one.
Kale looked like a me potato head.
What? Is that English?
I don't know. James Lill. He's just a little guy. James Lill.
Well, anyway, Dennis Wilson, I don't know if he's going to re-sign up or not. I hope so. And if he does, then one of these two idiots is going to be reading some stuff at our live show and reading our stuff through the throughout the whole year. Why are you laughing like hell? What is wrong with you, Cale?
I don't know. I just thought that was funny. Look like a me, not potato head.
Looks like a me potato. I don't know what that means.
Fucking virtual Cale.
Can I read this damn thing? Get over the way, please.
Yes. Can you please read the message from Dennis Wilson, DNC Trucking and Transport, the No Spin Zone segment? Comrade, read away.
It sucks to be a Gamecock. Dabo Sweeney is a man that inspires me. Would it not be funny if Chad Morris came to town and beat our Gamecock ass? That may happen this weekend. Benny Wilson hates a couple of things. Me, and when little Dennis smells like country ham. It's utterly shameful to be a Gamecock. Go Tigers.
Thank you, comrade. Appreciate you doing that. Good stuff, man. Hopefully, Dennis Wilson's been with us for 2 years now? Just saying. So maybe, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that works out. All right. So shout out to Sally Donegan watching tonight on Facebook. Sally is our defending champion in the Callaway's Pick'em Challenge. Got a lot of respect for Sally. She knows her football. We're going to pick our games tonight. And Comrade's already got them up on the website.
She's not doing too great this year, is she?
Oh, Sally? Hold on. I can tell you in just a second.
She like the LSU.
She's going LSU.
Sally, oh, God. Sally is currently.
She's going Bo Pelini.
She's kicking some jackpot ass. She's 2 points up on jackpot.
Oh, damn.
That's all fixing to change.
I don't know, man. She's kicking some jackpot ass.
Okay.
Our current leader, we have two leaders right now. The Comrade and Dennis Wilson. Look at that shit. 26 points apiece. Jeremy McClure right on their tail at 25. Ben Simmons is at 24, that tall bastard. Chris Rich is at 22. I'm at 21. Tyler Crowder's at 21. Big Dick Dulé is at 21. Nathan Medlin's at 21. And then we go down from there. Jackpot Jr. is at 20, a full field goal ahead of his old man. Also, Keith Whitley is fucking dead, but he is here at 20 as well. Kale needs to get his shit together. I'm just saying, Kale.
I had on a roll last week until fucking Oklahoma. I mean, Oklahoma or whichever one. Texas fucked me.
I will say this, I get to kind of see as the picks come in a little bit. I mean, not as they come in, but on game day, I go through the picks and I delete the ones. If you submit multiple picks, I delete your earlier picks. Okay, and it always amazes me whenever someone gets in the lead that next week they have a minimum of 4 submissions. They get real down on themselves. And Dennis Wilson did a few weeks ago. Dennis Wilson in the lead, and he put like 4 picks in. And before the game started, I text him, go, listen, man, I can know the pressure's getting you. You put in 4 submissions. You've changed like 3 games, 3 different times. I said, that's not good, Dennis. That's not good. That means you're feeling it. And he had a horrible week and dropped down. Last week, he had no pressure on him. He's back up top. But we'll see what he does this week.
Warman.
But that happens. Right? They get real kind of like, they doubt themselves. So just, I'm not saying that you shouldn't submit more than 1 pick. I mean, you can change things, but, go with your first instinct if you're in the lead, okay? Just go with what got you there. Don't try to overthink it. The pressure can be strong, though.
We're going to take you guys want to take calls later on before we leave? Because we've already got somebody left us a voicemail. We'll at least play the voicemail. Now, this is they've got a legitimate question that, it could actually be something that's viable to the show. Someone did call last week and they were happy with our analysis of what runs in between Dolly Parton's boobs. They were very happy about that. So Johnny Clemson says he'll call. Let us get our picks out, Johnny Clemson, and then you can call. By the way, we're also taking donations to get the comrade a haircut. What the hell is wrong with you? Your hair looks like a disaster. Are you just scared to go to the damn doctor? You look like, or the barber, you look like.
I used to have my head shaved.
I know, right?
I still don't feel real comfortable in a barbershop. Okay, I just don't. I mean, you can say, "Oh, he's afraid of whatever." I just don't feel like.
No, I never said that. Never said that. I'm just laughing at you. That's
my
all.
wife cut my hair once since the pandemic happened, and I cut it again because I have to actually go back to my real job, face to face here soon. So I probably need to get a haircut. So, but my kids love it because they sit behind me and they play a game with how bad we mess up Dad's hair. And so they do it like this, and they put it in all different weird ways, and they think it's hilarious. So normally it's all shaved. So,
all right. Well, Johnny Clemson, we'll take calls in just a little bit as soon as we get done with our picks here.
Mine looks horrible. I know, the back of a baboon's ass.
Yeah, back of a baboon's ass. That's hilarious. All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and submit our picks now. These are the Week 6 picks. Now, the comrade did waited until today. When the LSU game was taken off the docket, I guess is the term. So LSU and Florida canceled, moved, postponed, whatever the hell you want to call it. And so that game was off. We replaced it with what, comrade?
Pitt, Miami, which is not something that Kel loved, but he agreed to go ahead and do it. It was one of the games we talked about.
I was going to go something just weird and whacked out, but Kale, he's already fucked us with this one pick. I love Kale, but Kale fucked us with this one comrade or Kale special. It's just hot garbage.
All you gotta do is get it right, and then you'll be like, God damn, throw us some more of those.
Listen, I am I'm gonna brag a little bit here, but I am 26-12. Okay, but I gotta tell you, every week that I've done picks, I felt really good. Like I felt coming to the show once, and I was like, oh man, I've got these games down. And I got to tell you, this week is the first week where I got my little computer numbers, but they're all really close, and I've I may change my picks like twice during the show tonight. I don't know. So I don't feel good at all. I'm just hoping to go 4-4 this week. I want to go 4-4 and just stave it off. Go 4-4
right.
This week. 4-4.
Well, the first game, Pitt and Miami. Miami is a 10.5-point favorite. Of course, Miami got mouth pumped by Clemson last week, and Pitt lost last week as well. Comrade, what's your pick? We'll let you pick first.
All right, so one of the games right here I talked about. So the computer projection I have, the Comrade computer, which has been unreal this year, has at 26-16 Miami. And I don't like when it's that close because it can kind of go either way. But I'm going to go with Pitt, one, because the computer says, I guess, to go with them. But also, I think, I haven't really looked this up, but usually when teams play a team like Clemson or Bama, the next week they tend to be a little bit kind of off a bit. And I think Miami kind of got their nose pushed in a bit last week, and maybe they come out a little bit flat. Plus, Pitt's a good team. Pitt's got a really good defense, real good up front. And I think Pitt probably will come out a little bit sharper in this game too. So I think Pitt covers with that, but I don't feel great about it. But I'll take Pitt to cover.
All right, Kale, what's your pick, buddy?
I'm also going to go with Pitt. They have been really close this year. Last week, probably should have won there at Boston College. They got the ability to ugly a game up. I think Miami kind of got exposed last week. Really not that good. And the quarterback for Pitt, he's not bad. This Kenny Pickett guy, he's been in some circles called a poor man's Trevor Lawrence, and I could definitely get behind that.
Just the male version of Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, exactly. I like him. I'm going to take Pitt to cover. I think 10.5 points to see what, and it's actually moved up. It's like 13.5 now. And I don't know what I don't know why the sudden sharp shift there in points. I don't know if they've got some issues or something, but I haven't heard of anything.
Yeah. Well, when I look at this game, Miami I thought was going to be better than they were last week, but I still think Miami is a pretty good team. And Pitt has issues making the number all year. If you bet on all 5 of Pitt's games, you would have only won once. They are not very good against the spread. Not that means a whole lot, but when I watch Pitt, I think that De'Aaron King's going to go out there with a chip on his shoulder, especially after he got his dick kicked in last week. And all this talk of Miami being, just this wonderful power in the ACC, and the fake Dennis Wilson over here running his mouth talking about, oh, wow, we're going to kick your ass. And then all of a sudden, I find he doesn't show up for our show. He shows up for Pigskin Pete's show and says something about, I got my jaw broke. It has nothing to do with your hands there, buddy, especially after you ran your dick sucker up in here for about 3 months. Look what the hell happened to you. Anyway, with that, I am going to take Miami. I think they will cover the 10.5. In fact, I think that spread's going to be up to like 16, I think, at some point. But I'm going to take Miami minus the 10.5. Boston College at Virginia Tech, the most quiet 3-1 for ACC team other than NC State would be the Boston College Eagles. They have 1 loss on the season to a top 5 North Carolina team, a game that you can make an argument they should have won. Comrade, what's your pick here as they go up to Blacksburg?
Well, listen, this is the one game I feel good about. This is my money line special of the week. Money line special of the week for the gambling novices is taking the dog to win the game outright and taking home all the moolah. I've done 5 of them this year. I'm 4-1, and not too bad. Last week it was the A&M beating Florida, which you all laughed at. Said, "Oh, fuck, it won't happen." Anyway, so I've got the computer says that Boston College wins this game 31-23. That's a strong strong right there. But I'll take 11.5 to make be careful. But I like the money line in this one as well. But the points is just extra goodness. So take the Screaming Eagles from Boston College.
Kale, what's your pick, buddy?
Yeah, I'm going with Boston College as well. I don't understand this line. I think it's a little bit disrespectful to BC. You're talking about 3-1, and been really impressive. I mean, it's like a totally new team out there this year. Virginia Tech, kind of got a shootout last week with North Carolina. I'm not sure you're going to see that many points scored in this one. I think it'll be a tight one. I would lean with Virginia Tech winning the game, with it being at home, but I'm going to take BC to cover. I think that spread is a little bit large.
All right, well, here's where I come up with it. I like Boston College. I like their coach, but I think that I like their quarterback, Jurkovich, I believe is his name. Help me out with that, comrade. You're the guy who
I think it's Jurkovich.
Jurkovich. There you go. I mean,
Jurkovich.
You do have the list, but you can help us with that.
I think it's Jurkovich.
Jurkovich. Is that? Are you being serious? Is that like? Are we just going to call him Jerkoffich, and then we're going to call the quarterback from Mizzou Ballsack?
I think it's Jurkovich.
Jurkovich. Okay.
Jurkovich.
Right.
Around.
Jurkovich.
He was an assistant for Clemson.
Yeah. That's the Andrew McDaniel's nickname. They call him Jurkovich.
Anyway, I think Virginia Tech's going to blow them out. That's just my opinion. I think Virginia Tech's going to blow them out. So I think they'll cover the 10. I think they win by 20. Just saying. I'm going to go with Virginia Tech to take the win there. Up next, Ole Miss going to Arkansas. Ole Miss is, wait a minute, comrade, on the thing here. If you look at the form, it says Ole Miss minus 2.5, Arkansas plus 3.5. So which is it?
We got to fix that. Hold on.
Okay, well, which is it?
It's 2.5.
It's 2.5. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, what's your pick?
Oh, okay. I'll fix that. Don't submit your picture. I'll fix that in a second. All right, so another game I don't feel good about because I'm a big believer in the Chad Morris effect. I want to take Arkansas badly. I hate Lane Kiffin with a passion. I think he's a joke. But the computer says 41-34 Ole Miss. I'm going to go with the computer. Don't feel good about this. A lot of games I don't feel good about this week. It's one of them, but let's just hope, break even here. I'll take Ole Miss minus 2.5.
Kale, what's your pick, buddy?
I'm not that big of a believer in Ole Miss. They put some points and yards up on Alabama last week, and they were walking around, and Alabama's walking around like they fucking lost the game, and them because they gave up a bunch of yards, and Ole Miss is walking around like they won the damn national championship, and Arkansas, meanwhile, got fucked against Auburn, and I think that Sam Pittman will have them come out focused. I think they're going to have a huge chip on their shoulder. It's a home game for them. I don't know if it's in Fayetteville or Little Rock, so we're just going to say it's in Fayette Rock. And I think they win this game. I think they win this one and go even it up at 2-2 on the season. I'm taking Arkansas.
I've had some issues trying to pick this game because when I really stop and look at it, I'm impressed with what Ole Miss did, but I've been impressed with Arkansas too. And it comes down to I don't even know how to word this. I just have a feeling about Arkansas, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's their coach who sounds like a complete goofball when they interview him. Maybe it's just because I like him maybe it's just because I like chunky guys, man. Maybe that's what it is. He's a chunky guy like I am, and maybe he's just out there. He's just out there just waving his dick around with Arkansas right now. So I'll go with the fat guy waving his dick around. Give me Arkansas, and I'll take that as my pick there. Getting the 3.5.
2.5. So
2.5.
refresh it and it will change for you, Rob. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Refresh it. All right. Well, there you go. So Arkansas at 3.5. Now I got to enter my stuff here. Next pick is the Fuck Kale special, UMass at Georgia Southern. Comrade, your pick, sir.
All right, the computer did able to calculate this game. The last Cal special, my computer did not work on the game, but it works this one here. And I've got Georgia Southern 42, UMass 21. The Minutemen, the Fighting Marcus Cambies, keep it close. Take UMass plus 30.5.
Kale, what's your pick, man? This is your special. You better get it right.
Well,
He's 1-0. He's 1-0.
I made it my special. And it was a tough one to gathering data on. So I did a little bit of research, and this is UMass's first game of the season. And this was only put together a few weeks ago. So their coach, Walt Bell, says that they have a good returning nucleus of players. Now, look back at last season, and the last half of the season, they lost by an average of 40 points a game. So they're bringing back most of these players. And I looked on there and said, well, who have they played that ran the triple option? So the last game of the season last year, they played Army, and they lost 63-7. Now, Georgia Southern, they're not as good as the Army, but I still think that first game out, don't have a lot of time to prepare. I think Georgia Southern could name the score here. Give me the Eagles to cover.
So Comrade, you took the Eagles too, right?
I took UMass.
No, you took Marcus Camby.
I took the Cambies. I took the Fighting Cambies.
That's a hell of a lot of points. You know what? Kale, I'm going to go with Kale on the Kale special and take Georgia Southern. Kentucky at Tennessee.
But I'm ashamed. I'm going to call. I called the Marcus Camby. That's true. Went there, but Julius Irving went there too. Dr. J, the fight, Dr. J. So I should never reference Marcus Camby or Dr. J. I'm sorry, but Dr. J. So anyway, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Exactly. Kentucky's plays at Tennessee. Tennessee is a 6.5-point favorite. Comrade, what's your pick?
Computer says 24-14 Tennessee, and I have to admit, Georgia killed Tennessee last week, but Tennessee actually played better than I thought they would early on. I was a little bit mildly impressed with them, and I felt a little bit better about losing to them, to be honest with you. I felt a little bit better about the Gamecocks. Georgia still crushed them. They're the best team in the East by far, as I said, and I said that on there. But 24-14, I don't believe in Kentucky like you do. You love the Kentucky Wildcats, too. So it's two overrated teams, two coaches. Well, actually, Kentucky's a good coach, but Pruitt's a joke. But he covers the spread here, 24-4. I don't feel great about this game. I don't feel great about it, but I'm going to take Tennessee.
Kale, what's your pick, man?
I'm going to take Tennessee just because of the fact that, despite the fact that Kentucky has kind of made the rise from shit hole to mediocrity to halfway decent in like the past 7-8 years under Mark Stoops, Tennessee still owned them. In fact, the only time that we've seen a Kentucky get a win in that stretch was in 2017 in the last year of the Butch Jones debacle, and it was only like 2 points. And Lexington, 2 years ago, they had Benny Snell running all over the place, winning 10 games, and kicking Gamecock ass. Tennessee took them down like 24-7. Yep. That was a Tennessee team in Jerome Pruitt's first year that had a losing record. For some reason, they have Kentucky's number, and I also agree with the comrade that they played better than I thought they would. They're, I didn't think Georgia was going to be able to score that many points on them, even though I did take Tennessee to cover that number there. But in the second half, they just looked pathetic. They were moving backwards the whole second half. So that's concerning to me. Guantanamo Bay looked like he had never touched a football in his life. Pathetic. But
Caleb, have you noticed that we haven't had a whole lot of Tennessee fans in the since Tennessee lost. It seems like none of these Tennessee fans want to show up after their
Hunter
team gets
Slay,
their
though.
ass kicked.
Give Hunter Slay credit. He's been here the whole time.
Yeah.
Our boy Destroy, though, is gone. Our Gator Destroy, who ran his mouth all the time in the year. Suddenly, Florida gets slapped around by A&M, and he won't show up now for weeks.
Well, we'll lose these Georgia fans. SEC dog once Alabama throat fucks them this weekend. We'll lose them too.
Georgia fans are going to go anywhere because I think Georgia's for real. But
So anyway, so Kel, what's your pick on that, man? You going with Tennessee or Kentucky
I'm going to take Tennessee
to cover the 6.5?
Yes.
Well, with this game, there's a part of me that likes Kentucky a lot, but there's another part of me too that looks at even, and Cale mentioned this too, regardless of the team that Kentucky has, okay, they don't play well in Knoxville. The last win,
I think the last time that when they beat the Butch Jones team in 2017, I think the last time that they had beaten Tennessee was like 1984.
no, sir. They won in 2011 in Lexington, 2017 in Lexington. The last win in Knoxville was
Great
1984.
album.
Hell, you and I were running around in our Batman underoos.
That was a great album, by the way.
I remember it because it was the same weekend that we lost the Navy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You and I running around in our Batman underoos. That's the last time that Kentucky beat Tennessee.
In one weekend.
I feel like singing a little Van Halen right now. A little jump.
Yeah. Please stop. Anyway, so with that, I like Kentucky. I just the better half of me says that Tennessee will probably pick up the win. And I think they'll get a touchdown late to do it. So I'm going to take Tennessee, even though I think Kentucky can do it. I really do. Georgia at Alabama. Comrade, what's your pick?
I got a great stat for you here, Rob. Let me pull it up real quick for you. Before first, let me say this real quick. I've gotten a few messages from Georgia fans who are like kind of all loving the Comrade now. They think that I'm part Bulldog because I've been praising the first of all, I hate you people. I want to tell you right now, I can't stand you. I can't stand the fans. Can't stand the Hedges. Can't stand Georgia. That being said, my football knowledge has told me that Georgia's really good. I told you guys on the podcast back when Newman decided to opt out that the Bulldogs are still the best team in the East by far. Florida's a fraud, and I felt that Georgia was only worse than Alabama. That was what I said. Okay. Now that I want to say that first to the people who message me who think that I'm like simpatico with you people. I'm not. I can't stand you people.
Comrade, don't let the Comrade run his mouth like that. The Comrade absolutely loves Georgia. He has Georgia. I was told by a young man named Wilson that the Comrade has a Georgia thong that he wears for Georgia Week. Go ahead, Comrade.
But anyway, here's a good stat for you. Under Nick Saban, Alabama has been less than a 7-point favorite at home 5 times, Rob. 5 times. Okay, this is number 6 right now. 5 times. Okay, what do you think Bama's done in those games, Rob?
I don't know. Tell me, Comrade, what have they done?
In 4 of those games, Rob, Bama has lost a game outright. Outright! But as in lost. Took the L. Saban does not like it at home when his team is matched up against a team that is somewhat equal to them. And he's so scared now he's got the COVID, the fake COVID. He's probably faking it. Okay?
So
keep it in mind.
The hoax?
Keep that in mind, okay? The other game they played that week against Arkansas in 07, and they pushed the game. They are 0-4-1 against the spread in those 5 games, and 1-4 outright in those games. They don't play well at home when they are less than a touchdown favorite. Okay, that's its history. The computer, okay, so that's one stat. So one check mark to Georgia. The computer says this. It has Alabama 27, Georgia 26. So now I'm on line special, but it would not shock me if Georgia beat them. Georgia is really good. I can't stand them. They're really good. I thought this I thought Georgia probably loses one game all year, maybe two. Okay, the Gamecock game they're going to get beat because we own them. Okay, but so this game right here, down the wire, I'm going to take Georgia with the points. It would not shock me if they pull the upset, though. Take the Bulldogs with the points, though.
Kale, what's your pick?
I'm going to take Georgia, and that's 6 points too. I think they're the better team all the way around. I also hit on that the little trend with Alabama being single-digit favorites at home and losing almost all those games. They've lost all the past three of them, 2 to Auburn and 1 to LSU. Of course, that was last year. And I don't know how they're going to react to Steve Sarkisian being the coach on the sideline this week. A tight game. Is he going to be able to motivate them, or is he going to go out and they're going to go in the tent and drink a 12-pack of Miller Lights like me, because that's what he's been known for that. But nah, I'm just kidding.
I'm not. He's a fucking drunk. Don't harbor that. He's a fucking drunk. He's been a drunk for years. When you're a drunk and you get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, you get paid enough where we can mock you, sir. It's not like Steve Sarkisian, if he quit coaching today, that he would ever have to worry about money. Southern Cal's still fucking paying him. So fuck him. We'll mock him for being a drunk. He's a drunk asshole. Wouldn't surprise if he's out on the field with a beer calling plays tonight. Would not fucking surprise me one bit. The only motherfucker drunker than he is goddamn Ben Simmons, our recruiting coordinator. That's just facts. So don't feel sorry for that, Kale. Shit, he's a drunk bastard. All right, continue.
But yeah, I think that they're just a little better, and I think that they cover the number. I don't want to make a call on which one's going to win or lose. I'm really interested to watch this, but 6 points is just a little bit too much. I could see, and I see it being in 20s. I see like a 27-23 game, 27-24, 28, or something like that, with one of them coming out on top. So give me the Bulldogs. Those dogs are barking. Those underdogs.
So the line that we have in this game has Georgia at as a 5.5 point underdog going on the road. I have absolutely no problem with the Georgia defense. I will put this out there. I think my cat Harambe is clawing my foot because I won't pick her back up. Anyway, I will go on this with the comrade that they have the absolute. I think they have the best defense in the SEC by far. I think it's them and then Slopes right after that. I'm not really sold on Stetson Bennett though. I'm really not. And I think one of the things will be Nick Saban not being on the sideline to coach. I think that's a big deal. I mean, Lord only knows. Will Sarkisian show up drunk? You never know. None of us ever know. I'm confident though that Alabama wins by a touchdown. And Georgia's had these games with Alabama where they've been really close. In the second half, things happen, though. And I think one of two things will happen in this game. Either Sarkisian will be drunk or they're going to have Nick Saban there, but they're going to get like a big-ass like television monitor like they have with the like Facebook has them now where it can pivot on the sideline. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen with Saban. He'll definitely be there in some sort. I imagine there's going to be a cell phone roaming around or something where he can call and bitch out his defensive linemen if they don't plant correctly, etc. I think Alabama wins, and I think they cover. I think they win by 7 to 10 points, and then we can hear the Georgia fans just get really, 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 really pissy. By the way, this is the same Georgia defense last year that Joe Burrow lit up like a Christmas tree. When they face a superior offense, they fall down like bitches. Just saying. So give me Alabama to cover I think they win by 7.
You got to be a
10
great
points.
quarterback to beat Georgia. Burrow was great.
I'm confident.
Burrow was great. Helinski
Burrow
was
is great, but they've got a great running game. Alabama's got a
Burrow
great offense.
I don't think Mac Jones is the Joe Burrow.
Helinski was a just stop.
I don't think
Helinski
Mac
was a
Jones
shithead.
is in the Joe Burrow, Ryan Helinski class.
Now, see, SEC Dog, I want to make sure. Now, gentlemen, make note of what SEC Dog says here. Make sure your punk ass is here Sunday night, because if I'm wrong, I'll admit that I'm wrong. You will run off like a bitch, because that's what most Georgia fans are.
Destroy.
Bitches. Okay?
Now listen,
make
Georgia
sure you're
fans,
here Sunday night.
Fans, listen.
Okay?
Stop. Can I intervene real quick? Georgia
Absolutely.
fans, stop getting mad at Rob. This man right here, last year when the Gamecocks beat Georgia and snacked on the hedges, he did a public service announcement for 8 straight weeks in this show about how the Gamecock football program should be banned for life for what they did to the hedges.
What I said.
That they actually had actually decreased the Earth's lifespan because of the hedges that they destroyed natural habitat property. I mean, he for 8 weeks.
That's not what I said.
For 8 weeks he was complaining.
Not what I said.
He loves you guys. He's on your side. I mean, he's
not what I said.
I mean, he had a GoFundMe page called Save the Hedges. I mean, he was trying to raise money for him.
I'm sorry.
All kinds of things.
I forgot. Just calm down. I forgot that Gamecocks don't know how to celebrate anything. They don't know how to act like you've been there before.
He grows hedges in his front yard now to ship to Athens for next year when the Gamecocks beat him in there again. I mean, he does all kinds of things like that. So he really is. He's simpatico with you guys.
Yeah. Well, all I said is that the Gamecocks shouldn't do that stuff because that's part of their tradition.
Oh, you were with tears. You had tears coming in.
Okay, whatever.
3 weeks after, after like week 7, you didn't cry as much. The tears are gone. But for the first 3 weeks, you had tears coming down there. It was like every watched those commercials for Save the Children. Well, with Sally Struthers, from all
the dirt. They got like the flies all over.
Yeah, and like she's like, please, you gotta. Like it was like that.
I was offended. I, as Beth says, I was defending the tradition. Your program doesn't have traditions except for sucking donkey dick, so we can move on. By the way, SEC Dog says we averaged 37 points a game this year. Okay, SEC Dog, you did that against Auburn, Arkansas, and Tennessee. Now remember, South Carolina ran up and down the field on Tennessee, so please. You just make sure you show up Sunday night. I'll be here regardless, okay? And by the way, if by some chance you slip up and get into the college football playoff, I'm calling it now, October the 14th. Clemson will throat fuck you. Remember that shit right now. You and your little pissant Bulldogs, you'll all be running around throwing batteries and bullshit because you're a shitty fan base and not worth a fuck. So make sure you show up Sunday night, okay? Make sure you show up, because if not, I'll find you and I'll troll you from afar. Remember that there, SEC Dog. Your damn punk-ass team ain't won nothing since 1980. Kale and I were running around in our goddamn diapers. Our mom had to hang up outside last time your damn team did something that was worth a shit.
I'm pretty sure I was out of diapers by 1980.
I don't know, Kale. I mean, I heard you were breastfed until you were 12, but I don't know about all that.
Who wasn't?
I still am.
Exactly. Up next, as I take Alabama there, Auburn will play at South Carolina. South Carolina is a 3.5-point favorite. Comrade, tell us why the Gamecocks are going to win by 30.
Okay, here's the problem. Okay, as I mentioned before, I am 26-12 following the Comrade computer. And I told myself this year I would only follow the computer. Now, in all 3 Gamecock games, the computer has told me the Gamecocks would cover, and the Gamecocks have covered. And I've asked myself, what will happen if the computer tells you the Gamecocks won't cover? What will you do? What will you do? And unfortunately tonight, the computer says that Auburn wins this game 34-29. And a part of me tells me, no, the computer is wrong. Have they seen Will Muschamp's defense? Well, they probably have. I don't know what to do. Listen, I want this game really badly because, one, we haven't beaten Auburn since like 1933 or the hell it is. And Auburn bothers me that we have not been able to beat them. And I can't – and the fact that Chad Morris is there, I feel confident. I feel confident. But at the same time, I don't trust our defense. I don't know what the hell's wrong with it. I don't trust it. There's too many guys who are open, and I'm just real worried that Bo Nix is gonna look like Joe Montana, and we weren't going to cover anybody. And that computer said 34-29. I can see that. I can see us being in the game late and then just not finishing. And I hope I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. I want to finally finish because this could be the game that could turn things around for Muschamp and for the Gamecocks. This is really a huge game in the Will Muschamp era. It's a dividing point. It can really – I think the Gamecocks are close. You know, the first two games, I think they're close. Last week, I don't know what to make of last week. We did what we're supposed to do. This right here is a huge game. It's a huge game, and so I'm gonna be superstitious here, and instead of taking the Gamecocks to win, I'm gonna pick against them, and I hope I'm wrong, and I hope that changes it because I think every time I played Auburn, I picked the Gamecocks to win. I'm gonna pick Auburn to win the game and cover the spread. And I hope I get wrong in this game and it breaks this horrible curse and we begin to change things. And in 15 years, 20 years, we've got Will Muschamp Avenue outside Williams-Brice Stadium because he's led us to 3 national titles and is a legend. So that's what I'm going with. I'm going to go with Auburn. It pains me. I'm going to go with Auburn.
Of course. All right. Cale Hall, what's your pick, buddy?
Bo Nix has not impressed me this year, and the Gamecocks. Hey, I just think that this team is just balanced. I think they're balanced well. I think we got a good, distribution between the run and the pass. Colin Hill's not gonna, wow you with his eye-popping numbers, but the guy goes out there and delivers. He's not making a bunch of mistakes. I think that we're going to lean and we're going to run that ball with Kevin Harris. Auburn, they just don't have the playmaker. They never have the playmakers down there. They have just a bunch of average Joes to me. Auburn is like, I don't know. They are the SEC's version of Pitt. To me, they're a wet fart. They're a wet fart. The only player they have that concerns me, the one kid, Seth Williams, that doesn't concern me. J.C. Horn's going to shut him down. The Schwartz kid is the one that concerns me. He's probably the fastest player in the nation. Okay, I can see him getting out there in space and us having some real issues there. So, hopefully we got something schemed up on that deal. Stank Bigsby, guy who picked Auburn over South Carolina, has emerged as their number one back, which I thought that he would. I think shutting him down is key. I've listened to my heart. I've analyzed it. I've listened to a lot of the Las Vegas people, and everybody seems to be going with South Carolina. So I'm taking my Gamecocks here to cover that 3-point spread. I think we pick up a huge victory over a so-so Auburn team at home and get the monkey off our back. I think the name. I think beating the name is bigger than just beating the team. I don't know. It's like the name Auburn is just intimidating because we haven't. Nobody knows what it's like to beat this team. So I think after Saturday, they will.
Here's my thing with all this. I can admit when I'm wrong about things. The comrade is completely right about Chad Morris. Chad Morris is a fucking shit show. The comrade called that a long time ago. And I think Cale's phone died. Anyway, I think that I honestly believe that. And I'm still waiting for the moment where Auburn and Gus Malzahn and Chad Morris butt heads. But When I think about it too, though, here's the other problem that I have. I think that there's a mental thing there that people can argue about, that South Carolina hasn't beaten Auburn since what, like 1933, something like that. The last matchup that South Carolina had with Auburn, they were probably the better team by 2 touchdowns. Auburn was a shit show. They went into Williams-Brice and they won that game. I think Auburn, they
That's
did
not the last
hang
time
pretty
we
much.
played them, sir.
The last time they played them was
Last time
when
we
they came.
played Auburn was in 2014.
That was that awesome game.
Yeah, that was the one in Columbia, though, right?
No,
No, it was at Auburn. It was 42-35.
that was the game where Spurrier went for the 4th down every time.
Right. No, I'm talking about the year that didn't Spurrier have a meltdown that
Yeah, that
year?
was
You
like
guys
the
should have
hall.
beaten Auburn.
Yeah,
That game, you were 14 points better than Auburn, and you suck and lost.
That was the last time we put them at home, but yeah.
Yeah. I like Kevin Harris a lot. I don't like the Gamecock defense at all. At one point on Saturday, they were giving up about 7 yards a carry to Vanderbilt's running backs. So I think I'm going to roll with Auburn to cover the spread here. What is our number here? 3.5. The number was started at 3 and it's moving up a little bit. But I'll take Auburn to cover the 3.5 here. Have the Comrade and Kale all pissed off when they come in here on Sunday night. But you know what? They'll be here Sunday night. They will be here Sunday night. SEC Dog will not be. He will not be. He'll come back for spring football when he's talking to us about, I don't know, some fucko running back that Georgia's got that's supposed to take them to some kind of crazy national championship run and break that streak. Yeah. Brock Lee will be here. Jerome Pruitt will be here. What's the other guy? The other guy that's always here.
Hunter Slay.
Hunter Slay will be here. On Facebook, Sally will be here. Lisa will be here. Guarantee you on that. SEC Dog, they lose this weekend. He won't show up. Anyway, if you do show up, sir, I will let you come on the show and you can talk about how great Georgia is. I'll even play the Georgia fucking fight song. How's that sound? You guys win this weekend, show up. Show up. We'll play the Georgia fight song.
Shout out over on YouTube to Mr. Bloodline. He says Bo Nix has a hell of a backward pass, so you better watch out.
Do you want my address there, SEC Dog? I'll give it to you. I'm not scared of no Georgia fan. Most of y'all can't leave the state because of fucking parole violations.
Damn.
You want my address? I live in South Carolina, dude.
You better watch
get in
out,
trouble with your
SEC
parole
Dog. He
officer.
said he's not scared.
I'm not scared of a fucking thing, dude.
He wants
Not
threatened to
scared.
come. He wants threatened to come to Simpsonville and beat up a flooring guy.
No, he threatened to come to my house. I wasn't going to his.
Okay.
That's the other way around, you jerk. Anyway, I'll give you my address. Come by. We'll have a beer and we'll laugh about your failures as a football program. No big deal. Anyway, final game of the week. Clemson plays at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is a 27.5-point underdog. I think that line has moved up to like 29 in some spots.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pick against Clemson for probably the next 4 games. I just think Clemson's a machine. And I think Clemson wins huge in this one. But, Comrade, what's your pick?
Well, the computer says 49-21, which is 28 points. It's right there. I'm a little bit worried. I can see Clemson's not going to lose the game, but I can see Clemson not quite. This isn't the hyped-up game like last week. I can see Georgia Tech. I like Georgia Tech's coach. I can see them maybe hanging around the first half a little bit or maybe scoring late to cover the spread. So I'm a little bit torn on this, but I'm really worried that the Clemson will beat by 31 points and Georgia Tech with a late touchdown and beat the spread. But I'm going to go ahead and roll with Clemson and the 28-point margin the computer gives me and see if they hang on that way. So I got Clemson to cover.
Kale, what's your pick, man?
Well, Georgia Tech's got an extra day to prepare here. Not that it's going to matter a lot. But I mean, they're improved. They're getting a lot better. They have impressed me so much. They've gotten so much better, and we saw what they could do in the fourth quarter last time out against Louisville. It's just, I don't know. There's just a different vibe there. They're just a totally different team. I think Georgia Tech's better than Virginia. You couldn't cover the number against Virginia at home. I don't see Clemson covering the number against Georgia Tech on the road. Machine or not, ooh, we're a fucking machine. There's some kind of machine. There's some kind of damn machine. That's right, a tractor. That's a machine. Anyway, I think Clemson wins this game by between 21, 24 points. Maybe Georgia Tech scores a touchdown late to get a little backdoor action on them. But I take the Yellow Jackets to cover this. 27, just too much. Too much.
As I said, I'm taking Clemson. Too much Trevor Lawrence. He'll be talking to his girlfriend in the stands by the middle of the third quarter as Clemson wins big. So let's run down our picks real quick. Get yours ready there, gentlemen. I've got Miami minus 10.5, Va Tech minus 11.5, Arkansas plus 2.5, Georgia Southern minus 30.5, Tennessee minus 6.5, Alabama minus 5.5, Auburn over South Carolina minus 3.5, Clemson minus 27.5. Comrade, what you got?
I've got Pitt plus 10.5. My money line special of the week is Boston College to win outright, but take 11.5 in the contest just to be safe. I've got Ole Miss minus 2.5. I've got UMass in the Cal Hall special plus 30.5. I've got Tennessee over Kentucky minus 6.5. I got the Bulldogs plus 5.5 versus Bama. And unfortunately, I've got Auburn covering minus 3.5 against my mighty Gamecocks. And I got the Taters to cover the 27.5 point spread over Georgia Tech.
Cale, what are yours, buddy?
I got Pitt. I got Boston College. I got Arkansas. Yes, sir. I got Georgia Southern covering destroying UMass. I got Tennessee Vols. I got Georgia Bulldogs. I got my South Carolina Gamecocks smothering the wet fart. And I got Georgia Tech covering against the Taters barely.
All right, there you go. We have a voicemail. Let me see if I can play it here. And, of course, you can call the show. But let's see if I can find the voicemail. All right, let me see if I can play this for you here. And here we go.
That's great.
We can't hear it.
Wow, really?
He can hear it. Cale can hear it.
Oh, I can't hear it.
Hear shit. I'm making fun.
I thought you could hear it. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Can't hear shit. I'm like,
My bad. So you can't hear that. Can you hear virtual Cale when I play that?
Nope. Yeah, I was about to say, I think you might need to take him into the shop.
I might need to take him into the shop. All right, hold on just a second here. For some reason, my stuff is acting silly this evening, so we will check on that. I guess you guys didn't hear virtual Cale too. That bugs me, but I will work on that.
He's like one of those toys you go to take him, like the Operation game and pull little pieces out of him.
That's funny. Anyway, let me fix that really quick here, and so we can take some calls this evening. Hold on just a second. And let's see here. Audio. Oh, let's I think I know where I screwed up. Let's try that. There we go. There we go. That should be doing the trick now. Let's see if you can hear virtual Cale now. Could you hear virtual Cale? I played him. What the fuck is going on with this thing tonight? Let's see here.
Curtis Shaw over there on YouTube. South Carolina beat up a depleted Vandy team, and now I think they won 5 games. Okay, This is the same team, sir, that home with Texas A&M. I've heard this always. Well, they were depleted. Well, okay. Well, I mean, how many people that they were missing do you really think would have made a hell of a lot of difference in that game? I'll be honest. None. It would have made a damn difference.
You think so, Cam?
We're just better. It's work.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I can see that. As we finish up our show here, let me see if I can. There we go.
And I said something on here.
You didn't hear Virtual Kale then either, right?
I did.
You heard Virtual Kale, comrade?
I
heard
did.
that time.
Oh, well.
That is fucking great.
All right. So now we can hear that. Now we can go to our phone. We go to our phone lines here because apparently I goofed something up, but that's all right. We'll open up the phone for just a moment here. We had some folks trying to call in there. If you want to call into the show, there's the number. It's 803-470-2905. 803-4. There you go. Somebody's calling right now. All right. Hello. What do you got for the show?
This is Alex Conger, and how do you watch watching the Coastal Carolina Louisiana game?
I didn't watch much of it. Kale, did you watch it?
It's going on right now. It's tied.
Sorry about the game.
All right. Well, thanks for calling, buddy. Appreciate it.
I have a question.
Sure. What's your question?
What do you think? How do you think COVID's going to decide any more games on the docket? Are you worried that there's any other games that could be at risk? Do you think there's a possibility that Alabama and Georgia end up not playing this weekend?
That's a good question, man. Thanks for calling the show. It all depends on the testing, man. The SEC protocol, everybody gets tested tomorrow. Some schools are doing where they're testing every day, but I don't know. I mean, it all depends on how the testing works out. So I apologize for earlier not having the Virtual Kale. I think it works now.
Life.
There you go.
I'm still over the Gamecocks because the Gamecocks, played against Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt's all had some guys. Now apparently they're saying that some of the guys that were tested positive for Vanderbilt did not come in close contact with the Gamecocks. I don't know, but I'm still worried about the Gamecocks testing tomorrow, if it takes place tomorrow, and getting some bad news about that. So we'll see.
Something else too. Florida's athletic director came on, or he put out a statement today, or he did a Zoom meeting or whatever. He said that it was because of their trip to Texas A&M, and he said right now if Florida had to put a team out there, they'd only have 50 scholarship players. You have to have 53 to be able to put a team out there. But he was damn sure basically trying to say that it was a Texas A&M thing, like the trip to Texas A&M screwed them over. I'm like, way to throw everybody else under the bus there, Scott Strickland.
This dumb coach wanted to, that press conference look like a fool now. We want a packed house next
I
week.
feel so bad. It couldn't have happened to a nicer fucking thing.
Yeah, I think did we talk about this earlier, Mike, where he did some moonwalking, as Comrade called it. Yeah. He moonwalked like a motherfucker today during his teleconference. I think he said something to the effect of, if Destroy were here, we could get the full play-by-play, but he's gone.
He's scared.
It was something along the lines of, if I offended anybody, I'm sorry. Okay. Now that half your team's got fucking COVID, I guess you could say that. What a douche move. That was a very Will Muschamp-like move by Dan Mullen, saying some dumb shit. What an idiot. No, not really a Muschamp move, because Muschamp would – if half the team had COVID, Muschamp wouldn't tell us. Right. Here we go. Out to the phones. Good evening. Welcome to the Rob, Comrade, and Kale Show.
Hey, man, it's Jerome Pruitt, man.
Jerome, what's up, brother?
Y'all be easy on me, man. We took one on the chin, man, this weekend.
As long as it wasn't a set of nuts, you're all right, brother.
But Man, I was calling because I was really hoping that I'm a Gamecock fan, and man, I was really hoping that Vandy would whoop our ass. Honestly.
Now, why would you want Vanderbilt to whip your ass?
Because we got to get this idiot of a coach out before he completely sinks us, which I think he already has.
Well, you can make the argument that he already has sunk the program. I mean, you win a calendar year between wins. That's pretty shitty. I mean, pretty shitty.
Yeah, it's sad that that's what it's come to as Gamecock fans, that you hope Vandy blows you out to get rid of a coach. But I don't think there's any way we can get rid of him for another 2 years with that awesome buyout that Ray Tanner gave him.
I don't think it's an issue of the buy. I think it's an issue with that, but I also think it's the whole COVID thing where, and it's not just South Carolina. There are lots of university athletic departments that are going to be in the red. And here's the thing, too, when you really stop and think about it, we look at it, let's say just a round number, and I know that this may not be completely where it is, but if you have a $15 million buyout for Will Muschamp, you have to pay that, plus you have to pay all of the buyout, or you got to buy out everybody else's contract that's on the staff. His assistants and everything else.
And then you got to pay a salary to your new coach.
Exactly. So just saying it's $15 million, it's not going to be $15 million. It's probably going to be closer to $25 to $30 million, depending upon the coach that you get. So, I mean, I think that's just economically, you should, hope that South Carolina wins some games because this is going to be your coach regardless. And you might as well, if he has to be there, and I say this, it's saying that I think he's probably, in my opinion, I wouldn't have him walk my dog, as much of a liar and an idiot as he is. But you're stuck with him. So you might as well do what the comrade has done and just buy the fuck in. I mean,
buy in, baby.
You might as well buy in. I mean, ride that 1-9 train into the ground and pray to God next year you go 6-4 and you get to go to some shit bowl.
It's like having
when I was through with him when he said something stupid last year. He's supposed to be a defensive coordinator.
You don't say.
And here we are getting just steamrolled by everyone, and it's just ridiculous, man.
Yeah, it is. Pause the mic with a very good statement here. $1 million was wasted on a rooster statue. Sir, that is not a rooster statue. That is a chicken. That statue does not have any spurs because heaven fucking forbid we fucking offend PETA, by God.
That was a fucking private fucking donation. Jesus Christ.
Bought that for them. That was not wasted. Once again, pause the mic. Uneducated on an issue.
Doesn't matter.
That's that goddamn thing they got sitting out there at Clemson. That fucking Tiger just did a fucking 8-ball bump up before the fucking game outside down Met Valley. Fucking.
You sold him to Coach Jail. Stop doing that.
After the Florida game, in the post game, Bobo, it's his first year. He's trying to put, the offense looks way better than the defense, and Muschamp's over there saying, yeah, I mean, offense, had problems here and there. And I'm like, after the RJ Roderick debacle over the first 2 weeks, are you really? And you still put that man out there?
Well,
I mean, just.
I have a theory on that, sir, and maybe you'll buy into it, maybe you won't. Here's my theory. Muschamp realizes he hired a better coach than he is. Wait, what?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. He has Travarius Robertson, who's out there supposedly running the defense, even though that's what Muschamp is supposed to do. And when you stop and look at it, the offensive coordinators that he had, Brian McClendon was a guy that put up 35 points on a Clemson team. The comrade's all about that. But then McClendon's gone. He doesn't have McClendon to kick around anymore. Doesn't have that other idiot that he had before to kick around anymore. And he hired somebody that's smarter than he is. And maybe he looks over his shoulder and he's like, oh, fuck. The $4 million checks are going to stop coming. I mean, this guy's better than me. Maybe that's what it boils down to. I don't know.
I mean, what do you think it's going to take for Ray Tanner or Caslin to get rid of this guy?
No, it's not. I don't know. Muschamp decides to leave on his own, or maybe the idiots that put together $1 million to get a statue of a chicken with no fucking talons on it decide to dip into their pockets again and come up with another 20 million, where they give that and the university puts 5 in there, and then they get rid of him that way.
Did you see the ski mask comment? That was pretty fucking hilarious.
Oh, yeah, where on his radio show, where the guy's like, on his radio show. That's
on Carolina Calls. Yeah, man, I was listening live and I about shit myself.
I think the thing with that though is that I think a lot of the fan base feels like that. But I'm in the camp of he's not going anywhere. So unless you're going to be like the people who say that they're not watching the NFL, even though the numbers say that they are, if you're going to be that way with South Carolina football and just give up. Another thing that you could do, and this is as real as it can get here, for next season, if you're a Gamecock season ticket holder in football and you don't support this guy, here's what you do. You still want to support South Carolina, go and buy tickets to Don Staley's national championship contending team, or go and buy tickets to Frank Martin's team. By the way, both of those coaches could coach this football team and get better results than this fucking idiot that you've got down there running the show right now. I'll take Don Staley right now over Will Muschamp. Anybody here want to question Don Staley's leadership? Nope. You know what she'll do? She'll walk in and say, you know what? I may not know as much about football as I do about basketball, but I'm smart enough to go and hire some smart motherfucking people, and they will get out there and do what the fuck I tell them to do, and we'll get this shit rolling. I guarantee you she's a better coach than he is. Of course, Coach Frank Martin's not going to put up with any shit either. All right? So both of them are better. That's what I would do. Go and support those teams and let the athletic department know when you submit your stuff. I was a football season ticket holder, but I'm not going to go down there. I'd rather go watch Frank Martin, and I'd rather go watch Don Staley, because they do more for the University of South Carolina as far as being valid and making them a halfway decent program. Will Muschamp makes us look like a bunch of fuckos where we go out there in the goddamn full black outfits like we're at a damn funeral. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I went to school 08 to 12, and we hadn't done nothing but go backwards. We should have kept fucking Sean Elliott. I mean, He's the closest we played Clemson in how long?
Oh, yeah. Sean Elliott's a hell of a coach. Look what he's doing at Georgia State. He's playing great at Georgia State. But see, the thing is, here's the thing about him. He wants to be here. He wanted to be here. He is a South Carolina guy. He would have pissed himself if he would have gotten that job, because that's what he wanted to do. He's from fucking Camden. A stone throw from my house.
And you could have paid him half as much.
Exactly. And he would have loved every damn second of it. He would have recruited his dick off. Absolutely. And you know what? When he went in front of the press, he wouldn't have acted like a fucking punk bitch. He wouldn't have done shit like all the stuff with COVID. He'd tell you everything you needed to know. He'd want the fan base to actually like him and appreciate him. Why? Because he's one of us. He's a South Carolinian. He would never do the shit that Will Muschamp does. Wouldn't do it. Flat out.
Well, thank you. I'll talk to you later, and I'll hang up and listen.
Appreciate it, buddy. What you got, Kale?
All right.
Sean Elliott, if as a head coach, if he'd have been the head coach of South Carolina, would that not have kind of reminded you of like the Ed O model or like the Sam Pittman model? How about the Dabo Sweeney model? How about the Dabo Sweeney model? You hire a guy from within to take over.
Right. But what do you think about Dabo's hire, Rob?
About that.
Tell us about that. You wish about Dabo's hire.
I didn't mind his hire. I just thought he was a fucking idiot when he's losing games to South Carolina and he had more talented teams.
And you wanted them fired, correct, in 2010? Just make sure. Okay, that's probably put out.
I don't remember him having a number one draft pick.
Okay.
All right. Well, once again, SEC Dog, make sure you show up Sunday night. Okay. Make sure. I'm on Twitter at Rob Sounds Good. tweet at me and let me know. Either way, there's a nice little screen here, and we'll put you there. If you win, we'll bring you on the show. You can do your thing. Let's see what this caller wants. Welcome into the show. Good evening.
Hey, good evening.
What's up?
Well, I had a couple questions for you guys. I just want to get everybody's take on the fall of Oklahoma and the rise of Oklahoma State, as well as the fall of LSU and the rise of the Raging Cajuns. Something's going on with some of these states, and the paradigm is shifting, and I just want to get you guys' take on what's going on. I mean, I know the LSU lost a bunch of talent to the NFL, but the Raging Cajuns just popped up out of nowhere.
The Raging Cajuns are good because they have a good coach.
Billy Napier, a great coach, a couple of years.
Yeah, well, that's a good point.
They are. I mean, they haven't been. I mean,
well,
I think they've always been okay.
We mentioned Oklahoma State. You mentioned Oklahoma State.
Yeah, Mike Gundy.
Yeah. One of the things that I was checking this out earlier today, 247 Sports released their new talent composite. Where do you think in the country, as far as overall talent on their roster, that Oklahoma State is right now? Just take a wild guess. Anybody want to take a guess between, say, I don't know, perfect example, Georgia's at number 1. Alabama's at number 2. Where would you put Oklahoma State right now?
40.
I don't know, like 37.
42. So you're close.
Wow.
So what does that tell you about Mike Gundy? Every year they're winning 8, 9, 10 games. Someone needs to go hire that mullet out of there and get him to go coach somewhere else.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I mean, he's obviously making lemons out of lemonade out of lemons, or chicken salad out of chicken shit, whatever the hell it is you want to call it. He's doing the job there at Oak State.
I know that there's
he's punching above his weight class.
Yeah, he certainly is. So
I would say about Oklahoma, though, I think it's kind of dangerous to judge this year. I mean, this is kind of a crazy year. Oklahoma's had a really good run at quarterbacks. I think the quarterback they have now is not quite at the level the last couple have been. They lost a couple of close games. I'm not ready to bury Oklahoma as a program. I mean, this,
coach.
Yeah, I mean, this sometimes, I mean, listen, if next year this happens and the year after, then you can say something. I find it hard to really make judgments based on this season in any sport. I mean, whether it be baseball, football. I mean, it's kind of a weird season. LSU, I mean, that's a whole other thing too. I think the combination, they lost a lot of people, and then they changed defensive coordinators and defensive systems when you had no spring practice and limited practice. So I just think it's hard to make a judgment based on this. Well, we'll see next year and the year after what happens, but I think it's hard to make that judgment based on.
My thing with LSU, if you look across their defense, their defense is the problem, by the way. Their offense is one of the best in the SEC. The defense is an absolute shithole, though. Their thing is that they made that switch into the 4-3. And Conrad talked about this, too, with the whole thing of no spring practice, et cetera. That can have a little bit to do with it. Several LSU folks that I've talked to said basically the same thing. It comes down to the fact that they're just not with it in that Bo Pelini system. They've got athletes all over the place. They're just not where they're supposed to be. So offensively, they're fine. And I think that if their defense played half worth of shit, they'd be 3-0 right now. But shit happens. Their defense sucks, and now they're not Gamecock awful, but they're awful. So on that side of the ball.
Okay, I got another thing.
Sure.
I heard a little interesting rumor about Lane Kiffin going to jump ship again at the end of the season and go to Texas.
Well, I mean,
he's only been about a year everywhere he's winning.
Right. Well, I think Lane Kiffin is a great football mind, but I also think he's a 3-year guy. He'll come in, do 3 years. You may win a lot of games, but he's going to get you put on probation and everything else, and he'll probably be fucking somebody. I don't know. But it wouldn't surprise me because he's like he could Bobby Petrino somebody with just leaving a note.
Yeah.
Fuck you, I'm leaving, and then go to Texas. He doesn't care.
Yeah. And then what do you think about Mike Leach looking like a world beater and then looking like, holy shit, what happened?
Yeah, let's talk about Mike Leach. Let's
Sure.
talk about that. So, this is something that information. So, I basically said Mike Leach would be a failure in this conference. And, of course, week 1, he beats LSU. And, of course, Rob plays the sound bites of me and laughs. And then they have shit the bed the last 2 weeks. And we don't play any more sound bites. The Comrade sound bites are now lost. They're in the archive somewhere. So, thank you, caller, for bringing that up. Thank you.
I still got him.
Mike Leach, his problem, he's just bound and determined to run his fucking offense with players that were recruited in the Joe Moorhead system. He's got the best running back in the SEC back there. Well, why don't we run the damn ball and then eventually morph over into his system when he's able to recruit the kids in? Oh yeah, that's right. He don't recruit. See how that works? That's their problem.
He got KJ Costello. Give him a break.
It's like Uncle Lou described him as he's like
the
the
breaking
bearded lady
SEC record 1 week
at the
and then
circus.
laying an egg next.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely that too. You're right about that. We'll see how he does. I mean, he may need some more time. I don't think you should throw if his offense is working, it works. I mean, you can't throw the whole thing out just after a couple of games.
Yeah.
But see, that Kentucky game,
his quarterback after that.
right? Well, but that can his quarterback threw 4 picks. You throw 4 picks, I don't give a shit who you are. You should sit on the bench for a bit. But that game though, that Kentucky game had the Comrade sitting in his house fighting himself because he's like, do I have to go with Kentucky is better than I fucking thought they were, or fuck Mississippi State on the other hand? I mean, he really and truthfully was fighting himself because he didn't know which way to go.
Mike Leach will not work in this conference. He won't.
Well, he's already got one conference record in the history of the SEC. There is only one coach that in a single game that has the passing record. And that would be Mike Leach and KJ.
One game wonder. That's good.
Well, that's great. Whatever you want to go with that. Hey, caller, anything else, man? Where are you listening to us from, buddy?
I'm calling in again from Arkansas.
Oh, you're all the way out there in Arkansas. Okay.
Yeah, Woo Pig Suey.
There you go, man.
What do you think about this coming up game? Ole Miss is got some players out due to COVID, and they just had a knockdown, smash you in the mouth war with Alabama last week.
Yeah.
It was the offense versus offense. Saban saying he thinks Lane's got his play calls for defense, and back and forth. Lane saying no, he didn't. But either way, when you have that kind of a game, there's going to be some banged up players. And then, of course, Arkansas has to get over that mind fuck of beating Auburn, but then losing to Auburn due to getting robbed in broad daylight, and then the SEC just taking a dump on them afterwards with some no apology, just some bullshit rule number 12-47E, whatever the fuck. And that can play a psychological role, like with your players. It could either motivate them or it can demoralize them. So it's kind of a coin flip. Their Ole Miss's offense looks like some of the best I've seen in the league this year. The defense, I mean, it's questionable because everybody runs up the score on them. But I don't know. What do you guys think about it?
I think all of us took Arkansas, didn't we? I know I took Arkansas.
I took Ole Miss, but I don't feel good about it.
Yeah.
I took Ole Miss, but I don't feel good.
Yeah, well, I think Arkansas can pick up the win. And same thing I said earlier, Sam Pittman's just running out there. He's a chunky guy swinging his dick around, and it seems to be working.
Yeah.
So why not?
And by the way, I went back and looked. Didn't the refs do the same shit to South Carolina like a year or so ago?
No,
Missouri?
that was a completely different play. But I get what you're saying. That was more of a spike of the ball, and it was a different. I think the way that worked out, they went to the review, and I don't think there was any controversy with that. I mean, but I don't
He
know
picked
that
it up
play.
in
Do
the
you think
end
it's the
zone.
same
They
the
called it a
Helinski
touchdown.
play, guys? Do you think that's the same thing that happened to Arkansas with Auburn? Mike, what do you think?
I mean,
I
with the what do you mean the Helinski play against Missouri?
Missouri, yeah, it wasn't the same play. I mean, I don't think it was the same thing.
No. I mean, no, but I mean, Auburn got lucky. I mean, 'cause I think what happens, you blow the whistle dead like that, you can't. I understand. What I wish you would admit there was referee screwed up. He shouldn't have blown the whistle. When you blow the whistle, that's why they're taught not to blow the whistle. On those things, they can kind of rule them out later on. Because once you blow the whistle, you can't like overturn that part of it. That's the issue.
So how do you make a play like that right when the refs obviously fuck up?
You don't. I mean, you can't, because once the whistle blows, I mean, if I'm Auburn, what I'd argue is that the whistle blew. That's why I stopped. I could have recovered the ball. You blew the damn whistle.
Yeah.
You know, that's the argument. We're back in there. You say it. So,
at the very least, why didn't they back them up 5 or 10 yards for a legal pass?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can see that. I think we're all in agreement that Arkansas got fucked here. I mean,
I know the NFL. The NFL they've told the referees in the NFL to not blow it, like when the ball is out, like a fumble, to assume that everything could be a fumble and not blow your whistle and do it that way. So that's why you'll see sometimes when a guy is clearly down and the ball comes out, you won't see the whistle, and they'll kind of like go and make sure, all that stuff. But that's I mean, so it's crappy. It's something that would happen to the Gamecocks. Like you watch that game, that's how the Gamecocks would get screwed. So I'm glad maybe Arkansas got screwed for us, and maybe Auburn now will we can beat them this week.
All right, man. Hey, thanks for calling the show, buddy.
Yeah,
we appreciate it, man.
I'll let you guys go, but I hope South Carolina whoops the shit out of Chad Morris, Gus Malzahn, and Auburn Tigers. I mean, I'll drink 3 shots of vodka if it happens, and scream. I don't know what you guys scream, but we scream "Woo Pig Suey" down here. So
Spurs up.
Everybody in the state.
No, you guys scream about cock.
Just make Cox.
Cock. Thanks, man.
We got to scream. We love cock.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, take it easy, guys.
Thanks, man. I'm just spreading shit. That's funny. All right, guys. Appreciate you for being here this evening. Once again, make sure you Georgia fans show up. You probably won't, but we'd love to see you Saturday or Sunday night. If Georgia wins, we'll start the show with the Georgia fight song. If not, we're just going to laugh hysterically. So there you go with that. All right, guys. Appreciate it. And with that, the show's a wrap.